everybody, and welcome to Mid-South Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross, and along with Joel Watts, we'll describe the action that you'll see in the next 60 minutes. It's going to be a tremendous program, ladies and gentlemen. We'll also be highlighting the big confrontation, the final confrontation coming down in the Superdome. We'll be talking about that in just a moment, but Joel, I know you've got a big announcement to make.
We have a new television champion, Jim. It's Hacksaw Butch Reed. He won the title from Dirty Dutch Mantell on July the 22nd in downtown New Orleans at the Municipal Auditorium. And Dirty Dutch Mantell has asked for a rematch, and Butch Reed has granted it to him right here on television. That will be our television main event.
It certainly will. That television title match here today, just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, and you know, this confrontation between Cowboy Bill Watts and Skandar Akbar has finally come to a head. The final confrontation has been signed to happen in the Superdome, and no one can better explain this tremendous struggle for the supremacy in Mid-South, and it goes beyond just a physical supremacy, than Cowboy Bill Watts. He's at the heart of the matter. He's made several statements about this situation. Let's go now to Cowboy Bill Watts.
On May the 4th in Jackson, Mississippi, one of the most heinous acts of barbaric terrorism that has ever been perpetrated in any professional sport happened to Hacksaw Jim Duggan at the hands of Skandar Akbar, a man from the Far East, where terrorism is an accepted word, where terrorism is almost brings you to hero status. Let's watch and relive that moment that has affected my life and everyone in Mid-South so drastically where Duggan almost lost his eyesight and his career.
Right there you see it from another camera angle. That tremendous ball of fire with the left eye in the face of Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We'll be showing it to you again in slow motion. You see Kamala traps Duggan's leg where he couldn't move. And then Akbar hits him with that ball of flame again. You see the smoke flare up. You can smell the singe of hair and burning flesh. Jim Duggan, his career ended by this terrorist act.
That ball of fire that shattered my life. Because in my life, three things are important: God, family, and country. And I had to really think about it because what had happened to Jim Duggan and what I knew Akbar was trying to do and what was happening to our country, the world, and all the things that are bringing about this even being possible. And I searched my soul and I made some statements. These are those statements.
A lot of things have been bothering me lately. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a man's man. Asks no quarter, gives none. He always gave 150% of himself to his fans and to the athletic event he was in. And look what's happened to him. Look what's happened to him. How far can it go? How low can you go? Then Terry Daniels, a fine young Marine, ex-Marine, that said, I'm proud that I served my country. I'm proud of the uniform. You don't know what it took for me to get it. I'm proud of it. I may not win every match, but I'll give it my all. And then two former draft-dodging bums bullied and doubled up on him and insulted that uniform that stood tall for America, that's gone in against insurmountable odds and at least flown our flag. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. And you know, I've just been going crazy. We terminated Skandar Akbar and Kamala's contracts. And as soon as it went into effect, Akbar finds a lawyer, because there's a lawyer that'll do anything today. They'll even sue each other nowadays. It's like a pack of dogs. And he'd get a lawyer that says you can't suspend a man without a hearing. And we don't want to have the hearing right now, but you can't stop and terminate his contracts. Even if you own Mid-South, you can't do it. You're stopping a man from making his living. Well, I'm not trying to stop him from making his living. I don't know whose life he'll take the next round. So I was sitting out there and I really trying to sort my thoughts, and I got to look at this statue of two gladiators in the days of Rome. And that's what it's all about. That's one-on-one, the purest form. Two guys locked up to settle any matter you want to settle. I'm tired of going through bureaucracies. I'm tired of saying take it through channels. I'm tired of getting stonewalled. I'm tired of getting stymied. You got every legal mind in the country will tell you 900 ways why you can't do it. Your accountant will tell you why you can't do it. The government will tell you why you can't do it. It's got to get down to the basics. Back to the basics. That's where it was when I started. A wrestler. Get in the gym, train, work hard, sign your name on the dotted line, and if you could kick somebody's butt, you won the prize and the money. I got to have one last fling at it. I can't let it stifle me. I can't be cooped up in an office and see these things happen and my hands are tied. I got to make a statement. I got to find out if Cowboy Bill Watts still has what it takes to walk tall, to settle things one-on-one, to stand up for America, to stand up for my friends, to stand up for Mid-South, to stand up for what I think's right.
You know, wrestling's all I have. And the wrestling fans that have backed me for years and backed Mid-South mean a lot to me. I can't do everything for everybody. But one thing about it, I feel that there's no man that should have to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So I came out of retirement and I put my fanny on the line. And that's what it's all about. But Akbar, your oil money that breeds a greed that corrupts everybody. As DiBiase and Dr. Death got involved, I had to come to Duggan's rescue. Let's watch.
Duggan fires Larry Clark all the way over the top rope. Clark falls back into the ring. Whoa, wait a minute. Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase. Disqualification has been rendered. Hacksaw Duggan's the winner. Dr. Death obliterates the referee. Skandar Akbar is at ringside.
DiBiase lowered the glove and he nailed Hacksaw Duggan.
Duggan was holding his own, but against these two awesome competitors, what can you do? DiBiase with the loaded glove and Skandar Akbar is coming to ringside. Skandar Akbar.
He's pumping the cigar. Oh my God!
We gotta get some help down here. We gotta get some help. Duggan could be severely injured. Duggan is in a bad way. He's holding him off, though. He's holding him off. Oh, yeah. All right. Bill Watts said he wasn't going to stand for any Akbar stuff.
Cowboy Bill Watts, 304 pounds, and you talk about walking tall. He saved Hacksaw Duggan's other eye. Akbar was set to go with that cigar.
I make no apology for any weapons that I need to use because this is a war against a terrorist. The same kind of mentality that hijacked our people on that TWA flight and tortured them and slapped them around and laughed at the impunity with our reaction. I'm not a bleeding heart liberal. I'm a law and order man. I'm a man that's an American supremacist. And let me tell you something, in this war, it has to come down to a final solution. You and I, Akbar, because that's what it's all about. But people have come back to join me. Hacksaw Butch Reed, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch, Mike Graham, the son of a closest friend I ever had in the wrestling industry. He had come in too, and he became an inadvertent victim. As Akbar, you preyed on my emotion, knowing how bad I want to get my hands on you, and you had a trap set for me. And look what happened to Mike Graham, as he gave of himself unselfishly to prevent what happened to Jim Duggan happening to Cowboy Bill Watts, and Akbar torched him. And you see it right there. Well, Akbar, you can't get away with it. I promise you, and I promise the people of Mid-South, I'll put everything I have on the line in a final showdown against you, Skandar Akbar, in the Superdome.
Well, you see just exactly what has happened, ladies and gentlemen, what has transpired in the past few weeks here in the Mid-South area. It's all going to come to a head. The final confrontation in the Superdome. Cowboy Bill Watts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan have made a statement about that upcoming battle, and here are their comments.
When Mike Graham got burned, and this man standing next to me has felt that pain and agony, was off 4 weeks and almost ended his whole career, and he almost lost the vision of an eye. It all flushed out. Akbar, your army is flushed out, your tactics are flushed out. It's down to survival. And in the greatest wrestling structure in the world, the Superdome, it has to take place. It has to end. That's why we've called it a missing in action match. No disqualification. If you run or leave, it's just like losing. It's got to be settled. And if Duggan and I, and let me tell you, we're putting it all on the line, everything we have, our body, our heart, our investment, our time in wrestling, the loyalty of the fans. If Duggan or I, either one of us, if we get beat, the one that gets beat leaves Mid-South for 90 days. And Akbar, if your team gets beat, you leave Mid-South because you're what's behind it all. You pull the strings on those savages. Jim, this is more desperate than
Like you said, Bill, It's all on the line because this is the land of the free and the home of the brave. And that's why you have men like Cowboy Bill Watts and Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Dick Murdoch and the rest of us sticking together. The Superdome, everything is on the line. MIA, baby, somebody's got to go. You can't run, Akbar, because if you do, you're gone. You're going to have to face us, and the Dome is where it's going to happen.
We ask no quarter, we give none, and we ask nobody to take our place. Jim, it's you and I, and that's what it's down to. You and I are Akbar. Who's going to be here? Missing in action. The Superdome. It has to happen.
Both those men are very, very serious about this confrontation. It is going to be the final showdown of all that has transpired. The stakes are high on both sides of the fence. Skandar Akbar made some comments about it. Let's hear those now.
It's a tough, tough world we live in, Bill Watts. As you and Hacksaw Duggan have found out. In retrospect, when you summarize everything that has happened, I could care less about you and this country. The only thing I care about is money. And right now, I'm riding high in Mid-South, and I have no intentions of leaving the Mid-South area. So get it and get it straight, Watts. I've got enough wealth to spend to the end of time to see that I eliminate you, that I eliminate Hacksaw Duggan. It's all coming down in the Superdome because I gladly agree to the stipulation because I know when you think the deck is stacked against yours truly, you're sadly mistaken.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the stakes are extremely high, as we have been saying. The final confrontation, the most sincere physical confrontation of all time. I mentioned as much mental and emotional as physical. It's going to happen in the Superdome. That's why so many fans are talking about this tremendous encounter. And ladies and gentlemen, we will keep you updated on this situation, and we'll be back with our television main event right after our first commercial timeout. Well, just a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see Hacksaw Butch Reed defend his newly won Mid-South television title against the man he took it from, Dirty Dutch Mantell. That tremendous encounter took place on July 22nd in New Orleans. Dirty Dutch Mantell, a very talented athlete, a very, very determined man, and with Reed's pending battle with Ric Flair, the stakes are doubly high as far as Hacksaw Reed is concerned, and Dutch Mantell had this to say.
Okay, Mid-South, listen up and listen up good. Now, there's a situation going on around here that needs to be corrected. Now, everybody knows Butch Reed is the new Mid-South television champion, and he took it off yours truly, me. And I don't take kindly to defeat, nor do I like to lose. I'm a sore loser, have been and always will be. But Mid-South, at least they had the foresight to make Butch Reed put that title back up on TV today against me. Now, Reed, how does it feel to be forced to do something? I don't think you like it, but there's more than the title at stake here. Because you're the front runner for the World's Heavyweight Championship, and Ric Flair has promised me a substantial sum of money if I can take you out. And not only today will I win my title back, I'm going to make a lot of money. Get ready, Reed. I'm looking at you today.
Dirty Dutch Mantell said that he owed Nature Boy Ric Flair a favor. So I think what we're about to see here is somewhat more than a title match. It could be considered a bounty match by many people. Let's go to the ring. Action's about to start.
This event for the Mid-South television title, which means it's one fall or 15-minute time limit. In the ring from All Trough, Texas at 227 pounds, the challenger, Dirty Dutch Mantell. And the Mid-South television champion from Kansas City, Hacksaw Butch Reed.
Well, we've got action already. The bell has not sounded. Dirty Dutch Mantell has attacked Hacksaw Butch Reed. The referee goes out on his head on the concrete. And Mantell's like an enraged animal. And he's lashing Reed with that whip.
He's hitting him, Jim. He came right out and attacked him with the butt end of that whip, and now he's lashing him, but the pain is just getting through to Reed, and it's stinging him. But now Reed's got it, and it's a tug-of-war. Reed has got a hold of that whip, and it's a tug-of-war. Dutch Mantell can't hold him off. Reed is just too powerful. Reed is hammering it. And now Reed's got the whip. Reed has got the whip now, and he's returned it in kind. There's the butt end of it. Now he's whipping Mantell. Reed is whipping Dirty Dutch Mantell. Jim, I don't know.
Hacksaw Butch Reed means business. He knows the stakes are doubly high. Reed is giving Mantell back his own business. Here comes Superstar Bill Dundee, and he comes off the top.
Well, Reed is not taking any chance off any of these guys, I'm telling you.
Reed is walking tall, and he's whipping them all. Reed is whipping them all. Dundee and Mantell are on the run. You talk about a man ready for battle. There you see him. Hacksaw Butch Reed, the greatest shape of his life, and he's ready for Ric Flair or anybody else. There's a supreme athlete, and he is ready to go to war. What a man, Hacksaw Butch Reed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, he's ready to go. And we'll be back with Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch right after this from the Mid-South Network.
This event, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 290 pounds from Columbus, Ohio, Carl Stiles. His opponent, 273 pounds from Waxahachie, Texas, Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch.
I just had a word with Mr. Stiles, and I think we've come to an arrangement. You know, I agree with Bill Watts about very few things, but what he said at the top of this program today rings very true and clear. People have to take care of their business right here and now. Murdoch, I don't want to wait until the Superdome to get a piece of you. So what about going at it right here, right now on this program, huh? How about it, Murdoch? You got any guts? Huh? What do you say? Come on, are you a man or a mouse?
Boyd Pierce, you hear these people out here, Humperdinck? They want it. They want it right now. So you get your little Pillsbury Doughboy body out of here and bring us Nightmare. Let's settle it right now. Put that North American title on the line and let's go for it right now, big boy.
You got yourself a match, Murdoch, but who you're going to be facing is not the Nightmare. It's a gentleman you see coming behind you right now, Daddy. Get out of the ring!
Well, it looked like it'll be Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch and Humongous.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're calling for the bell. We've got a match here. He is Humongous, Joel, no doubt about that. He's one of the most phenomenal physical specimens I've ever seen.
Jim, he certainly is imposing. This is an unexpected turn of events here. It looked as if Dick Murdoch was about to take on the champion for the North American title. Whoa, look at that. Dick Murdoch tied up with him. Look at the power.
Murdoch with a bewildered look on his face, and I'll tell you what, it takes a little sizing up. Murdoch's been in some tough brawls. There you see Sir Oliver Humperdinck. He has really got a find as far as a physical find. In as much as this man's 6'8", as they said, looks to be well over 300 pounds.
Well, Jim, Sir Oliver Humperdinck has managed some of the top talent in the wrestling world. Look at that.
Murdoch down.
He fired away, and that it didn't even phase Humongous. Guarantee you those rights and lefts. Broken jaws and teeth and everything else. But Humongous just stood there. Collar and elbow tie-up. Murdoch goes for the headlock. Good strategic move on Murdoch's part there. Off into the ropes, and Murdoch comes with a lot of velocity, but they're both staggered. Murdoch with the elbow. Murdoch with the elbow, and he hit that mask, it looked like. That elbow's put down some tough men. That mask seems to, I don't know, Jim.
Look at the strength of this man. He's got Murdoch up, and Murdoch weighs well over 270 pounds.
Jim, this man is unreal.
Oh, that headbutt right on the Murdoch down on the floor. That Humongous, he headbutted Murdoch with that headgear, that unorthodox headgear. Right in the, Murdoch right in the face, and here comes Humongous right after Murdoch.
Oh, he chopped him right to the forehead.
He's hammering away, and he's opened a laceration over Murdoch's eye. Oh! This man is phenomenal.
Vicious. He's still attacking him on the floor. Carl Fergie trying to break it up. Carl Fergie trying to break it up, and oh! Murdoch has really been lacerated severely. He's press slamming Murdoch back into the ring. My goodness, Jim, this man is powerful.
I have never seen anything like this specimen. Never in wrestling have I ever seen anything like this. Humongous. Oh! That flying headbutt, and Murdoch is severely hurt. Murdoch has been deeply lacerated, and Humongous. Now, with his version of the Shinnomaki, Humongous has got Murdoch, and Murdoch is in so deep trouble. Dick Murdoch. This is stunning the crowd. The crowd is hushed. They can't believe what they're seeing. Dick Murdoch being virtually manhandled by this phenomenal athlete.
Carl Fergie checking the arm. That's twice. If he goes the third time without a response, he calls it. No! He won't break it, Jim. This could be very dangerous.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen it just as we have. They're the winner. Humongous and Oliver Humperdinck. Sir Oliver Humperdinck has a real weapon now in his arsenal. And Dick Murdoch, Captain Redneck, is, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with more Mid-South action right after this timeout.
This event, a tag team match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, Jake the Snake and the Barbarian. And across the ring, their opponents, Ken Glover and the Mongol. Your referee, Tommy Gilbert.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, tag team action here on Mid-South. As we await the official signal for the bell here, as Boyd Pierce is clearing the ring, there you see the #1 contenders for the Mid-South Tag Team titles. And that, of course, Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian as they go against the Mongol and Ken Glover here on Mid-South Wrestling.
There are the fans chanting DDT when Jake the Snake and the Barbarian came in. I think some of the people are starting to actually like Jake the Snake and the Barbarian. It's kind of strange, but I think it's out of their heated confrontations with Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Death Williams. Jake the Snake Roberts applying the armbar and twist. A lot of pressure there.
Of course, Joe, you mentioned their confrontation with Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death Steve Williams. There's no doubt about something in that situation that's got to give very, very soon. That has become one of the most physical battles of any four men I've ever seen in wrestling.
No doubt about it, Jim. When those four guys get in there and battle it out, it is nothing but a brawl. It is something to see. Jake the Snake Roberts with a hard chop there.
Barbarian showing that great agility, leaping right over the top rope. One of the most imposing physical specimens in wrestling is this young man, improving each and every week. And under the tutelage of Jake the Snake Roberts, he's really getting some a keen insight to the technical aspect, but right there is not too technical. That is raw power, and he is physical.
Oh, he's just slapping Ken Glover.
Always hammering.
You know, one thing about Jake the Snake and the Barbarian, both of them have tremendous height, and I think Jake the Snake has somewhat taught the Barbarian how to use his leverage as well as his strength. He has become a true superstar in wrestling. Barbarian there with a hip toss, now dropping that giant thigh across the neck of Ken Glover. You just can't imagine the mass of the Barbarian's legs. They're so long, yet the diameter is so great. Oh!
Power slam, they planted him, and in comes the Mongol. And the big Barbarian just inviting him in. He is ready for any physical battle that he comes up against, as is, of course, his partner, Jake the Snake Roberts.
The Mongol just going out and attacking the Barbarian. Oh, man. Barbarian caught him with a foot. Used the Mongol's velocity to his own benefit, and I think the Mongol is already out. Barbarian up to the second rope. Oh, that is so devastating, Jim.
Over 300 pounds, 6 feet 8, coming off that rope. And hear the crowd. They're chanting, DDT. They want it. They want that DDT. And Jake Roberts knocks Glover off the apron.
There he's got the Mongol.
You can hear the chant. They want it. They want the DDT. And there it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's no more deadly single weapon in wrestling than that. And there's a bell. The Barbarian is planted Glover. The DDT. These men are ready. They're the #1 contenders for the tag team titles, and they're ready for Ted DiBiase and Dr. Death at any time. And we'll be back with more after this from the Mid-South Network.
This bout, one fall or 10-minute time limit. In the red corner, 262 pounds, Omaha, Nebraska, Ted DiBiase. At 230 pounds, from San Antonio, Texas, Wendell Cooley. Your referee, Tony Torres.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just a few moments earlier, we saw the #1 contenders for the Mid-South Tag Team titles, Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian. Now we're going to see one half of the current Mid-South Tag Team title holders, Ted DiBiase against Wendell Cooley.
Ted DiBiase and Steve Dr. Death Williams are both awesome in single competition and together as a tag team. I think they're probably the dominant force in the country in tag team wrestling. Wendell Cooley there going for the arm bar. Ted DiBiase takes him to the inside. All four of those men, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Barbarian, Ted DiBiase, and Steve Dr. Death Williams are all such great athletes. Ted DiBiase, of course, the master tactician, the head of the Rat Pack, the man with the experience. He is really a force to be reckoned with. There he's using the hair to pull Wendell Cooley into the turnbuckles. Tony Torres calling for the break.
DiBiase really connected with those forearms, those elbows. Cooley goes for a high-risk maneuver.
Cooley made the backflip and caught DiBiase off guard. He gets his with a hip toss and then a drop kick, but he misses with the drop kick again. He went to the well once too often to Ted DiBiase. As we said so many times, the master tactician. He's such a quick thinker in that wrestling ring. And now he's quick to the attack, quick to gain momentum on Wendell Cooley. Ted DiBiase could really kick it in gear when he needs to, when he seizes his opportunity. He can be so vicious. There, that hard elbow sends Cooley down to the canvas, and Cooley is getting up very slowly from that one. A kick to the side of the face. DiBiase is relentless.
DiBiase knows the heat is on as far as the tag team championship situation is concerned.
Neckbreaker.
DiBiase with another vicious kick to the head of Wendell Cooley.
Jim, I think this kind of tactic on the part of Ted DiBiase is a direct threat to Jake the Snake Roberts and the Barbarian. Their focus and their energies are directed 100% towards each other. So DiBiase using the ropes again. And it's so frustrating. He's a great athlete, but he's always resorting to tactics like that. Unnecessary tactics, but effective nonetheless. There he goes back after Cooley. Power slam. Whoa! He sunk Wendell Cooley into the canvas, and now there he goes for that figure 4 leg lock. The figure 4 leg lock, Ted DiBiase is a master at it. Tony Torres asking Wendell Cooley.
Ted DiBiase the winner, and a very impressive victory indeed for that man, Ted DiBiase. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with Al Perez versus Jerry Gray right after this.
This bout one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner at 230 pounds from Orlando, Florida, Jerry Gray. And across the ring, 235 pounds from Tampa, Al Perez. Your referee, Carl Fergie.
Al Perez gets a tremendous hand from this crowd at the Irish Meal Boys Club, ladies and gentlemen. Very impressive youngster. He'll be going against Jerry Gray. You heard him introduced. Orlando, Florida.
Collar and elbow tie-up there, and Al Perez goes straight to the fireman's carry and puts Jerry Gray in a pinning predicament quite quickly. Al Perez has won a few matches here on Mid-South Wrestling quite quickly, as a matter of fact. There he goes back to the pinning situation once again on Jerry Gray. Al Perez, a great amateur wrestler out of Tampa, Florida. Great collegiate background. But you know, the mark of a true superstar is a man who can grapple with you on the mat, but he can still go when it comes down to a brawl. Al Perez, thus far, we haven't really seen, he hasn't had to use that other side of the coin, as it were. He has stuck basically to his wrestling skill. We saw him with Dr. Death in a deep predicament at one point. There he goes behind Jerry Gray again, and Gray is finding it hard to get into an advantageous situation on Perez. Perez handling him quite easily when it comes to just down-to-earth wrestling. There he goes to the hammerlock. You hear Jerry Gray hollering out in pain. Hammerlock is an extremely painful hold, especially when you combine it with a top wrist lock, like Perez is doing here. Into the ropes. Carl Fergie calling for the break. Back to the ropes, and now Jerry Gray. Whoa! Gray really connected with a right cross. Right to the chin. Carl Fergie was trying to break it up. I think Jerry Gray decided that there's no way he's going to get ahead by trying to wrestle Al Perez. Now he's going to go out street fight style. He's got Perez on the ropes. Gray managing to gain a little bit of momentum here. Double knee straight to the chest. Gray, a highly improved wrestler. Seen him once here before in the Mid-South. He's put on some weight. Oh, Gray up it. A hard right down to the chin, neck area. Perez kicks out. Fans now starting to get behind Al Perez. Perez with a kick to the midsection. There he's firing back.
Ooh, what a right hand. Man, he nailed it. He nailed him with that right hand, and down went Jerry Gray.
Perez pushing Carl Fergie out of the way. He says, if that's the way you want it, Jerry Gray, that's the way you're going to get it, brother. High elevation, whoa. He put Jerry Gray to the lights. Perez is furious, a look of anger on his face. Whoa. He is really hammering Gray. Gray went to swing at him. And Perez caught him with that belly-to-back suplex.
Al Perez, he's lightning, ladies and gentlemen, and he's victorious. And we'll be back with more exciting Mid-South action after this word from the network.
This event, one fall or television time.
Wait a minute. I don't want anybody ever again to ask you who Humongous is, because everybody saw him beat one of the top-ranked wrestlers in the world right here today. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you your North American heavyweight champion,
the Nightmare.
And the Nightmare's opponent at 220 pounds from Chipley, Florida, Jerry Backlund.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you see Sir Oliver Humperdinck, and he has got two tremendous athletes there, humongous, climbing right over the top rope, right down to the floor, and the North American champion, the Nightmare. Sir Oliver Humperdinck really assembling an army here, ladies and gentlemen, quite an arsenal.
The Nightmare goes right after Jerry Backlund. Very quick to the attack. Many instances we've seen the Nightmare where he's been calculating and methodical, but he is going direct to the attack on Jerry Backlund.
You can hear Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Tear him up! More Nightmare Denny! Give him more!
Sir Oliver Humperdinck encouraging his North American champion to do more damage, and he is certainly following his manager's wishes, as you see in the lower part of your screen there, humongous alongside Sir Oliver Humperdinck, as the Nightmare is completely dominating Jerry Backlund.
Jerry Backlund hadn't even got out of the starting blocks yet. It has been all Nightmare thus far in the match. There he picks Backlund up. A Nightmare with a powerful bear hug. He has got Jerry Backlund up in the air. Referee Tommy Gilbert asking Backlund if he wants to give it up. The Nightmare, so vicious. He is really applying the punishment to Jerry Backlund.
Well, I have never seen the Nightmare look more impressive than he is here right now in Mid-South Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. And it looks like, well, I'll tell you what, this man, Humperdinck has done something for this man's career. Look at that!
He's press slamming.
He's holding him there.
Oh. He is so powerful and so thick. It's no wonder that this man is the North American champion. He has proved himself thus far. He hasn't been a paper champion. He has defended his title against some tough people. He's pulling Backlund up by a hair. I think at this point, Jim, it's only a matter of time. Lateral press. There, he's pulling Backlund up. I think, Jim, I think that might have been from the advice of Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
I agree wholeheartedly, Joel.
Humperdinck is such a sadistic individual, it seems.
What a vicious backbreaker. This man is sadistic. He is sadistic here on today on Mid-South. He had him pinned. He had the man pinned right there and picked him up once again.
He had him. Jim, referee Tommy Gilbert starting to admonish the Nightmare for these tactics. Certainly unsportsmanlike, and it can be very dangerous for a wrestler to do this type of thing. The Nightmare is administering punishment after the fact. I think he had Jerry Backlund beaten twice.
Well, this young man from Florida he's out of it. He is out of it and sets and a pile driver. He planted him in that mat with a pile driver. That's got to be all. That's it. There you see the North American champion, the Nightmare, victorious, ladies and gentlemen, here on Mid-South Wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, we have just a few moments left here on Mid-South Wrestling. I want to ask superstar Bill Dundee to come in here. Bill, there's a lot of things going down right now, and I think there's some things that needs a little bit of explanation. And if nothing else, I think you owe the fans somewhat of an explanation as to what's going on.
I don't owe nobody anything, but seeing you asked, Mr. Ross, I'm just going to tell you something. I was the first guy to bring class to professional wrestling. I was the first guy to dress up in a nice-looking suit like this. Then all of a sudden, everybody wants to be an imitator. That little goof Bobby Fulton that runs around here in his Kmart jacket, the studs on the back of this more than his whole wardrobe. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Fulton. I'm going to wrestle you next week right here in this ring. And the prize, my boy, if you can beat the superstar, is this suit. And you can't afford a suit like this, Daddy. But if you win, if you get the 1, 2, 3, he can have the suit. You can walk right out of the building with it. Then he'll have a little class to his act, Jack.
So you're saying that you're going to wrestle Bobby Fulton right here next week on Mid-South Wrestling?
You have a date, Jim Ross, and so does Bobby Fulton, and you're looking at the winner. Thank you.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, there you hear Superstar Bill Dundee's comments. Joel, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, what a tremendous hour. We have seen Humongous and Dick Murdoch. What a confrontation. What a man Humperdinck has, Joel.
The Lord Humongous is just an awesome athlete. He is such an unbelievable specimen. It's just remains to be seen.
Plus, ladies and gentlemen, the confrontation, the final confrontation. It's all going to happen in the Superdome. Cowboy Bill Watts, that final showdown with Akbar. The stakes are so high. For ring announcer Boyd Pierce and Joel Watts, I'm Jim Ross saying so long, everybody. We'll see you next week.